Okay, and we're back here now. Black Dahlia Murder, you just heard. They'll be on the show in January. Really looking forward to that. But first, we're sitting here next to a man who was once called by Colin Richardson one of the best bass players he has ever seen in his life and he's ever worked with. Quite an achievement. It's Paolo from Trivium. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. That was a very killer intro right there. I have a lot to live up to now.
I suppose when he came out with that, were you shocked? I mean, a lot of the fans appreciate you, over the years. So how was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, remember when we were recording and stuff, he was, I guess, impressed. I was pretty quick with doing my stuff, but that was just all the preparation and stuff. If you practice a lot, I think anyone, can achieve that. So I've never looked at myself as like, the best bass player in the world or in metal, but I'm definitely a very solid bass player. I like to be prepared, especially with like live shows and stuff. I don't like throwing in surprises that often. I like it to be like dead on every night.
Excellent. And so you're here anyway in Newcastle, Defenders of the Faith tour. Big deal for you guys. Definitely. Obviously a UK headline tour with the likes of In Flames, Rise to Remain and whatnot, and Ghost. Tell me a bit about how you got involved with this, and obviously are you glad to be back?
Well, definitely glad to be back, and the way we got involved was us and In Flames share the same booking agent, actually Rise to Remain as well, and it's just easier to put together a tour, when you have someone that's kind of working with everyone, and we just put it out there like, hey, we'll support you guys in Europe if you can come over with us to England to do this Defenders of the Faith tour and make it like a really big package. And we've been really good friends with the guys from In Flames since we've known them since like 2005. So it's just been a lot of fun. There's no pressure, there's no rock star attitudes or anything anywhere near. It's just pretty much have a good show, play metal, drink a lot after the shows, and for the Swedish dudes, it seems to be get naked very, very easily.
Okay. Hopefully they don't get naked during our interview. But,
hey, you know what? They've come up on this bus, late at night one time, and they packed it out all naked in here, and that was the night I just stayed in my bunk. When I heard that, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to get out. I don't need to know them that way.
Good call. So when a tour is sponsored like this by a publication like Metal Hammer, obviously it's a big deal. Does that add sort of an extra weight to it? Or, I mean, first of all, I have to ask, when is the last time that you guys sort of fully toured the UK as extensively as this?
It probably was 2010. We did. It was actually Nick's first tour over here.
Okay.
And we did a bunch of stops all over. But yeah, I mean, this was a really big tour for us, especially since Metal Hammer decided to dub this one the Defenders of the Faith tour. Obviously there's a lot of tours going around right now, so we're very honored that they would, give us the honor of being a sponsor of the tour, and they've just been a big help for Trivium since day one as well. Giving us a lot of support, and still to this day really supporting us.
I mean, it's very true, if you don't mind me saying so, that when Trivium first started, I mean, going back to even before you were in the band, they were very much, when you heard the word Trivium, a lot of people very ignorantly said, well, Metallica clones. How do you think you've sort of grown out of that? Because obviously you've grown beyond that, and where do you think the music has sort of progressed? Are you still as thrash as maybe you were when you started out?
I mean, I guess the only album that was probably more thrashy than the others was Parts of the Crusade, but I don't know. I mean, we just have so many influences. It's hard to say that we're like just one type of a metal band. I mean, I just kind of put it under the category of modern metal, because modern metal is such a mix of everything. I mean, we can really draw upon all the influences that we've had, plus, how many years metal's been around, 30 plus years, 35, 40 years even. And yeah, we just take influences from so many things now. So the Metallica clone, I mean, I don't know, that was like a period where that was kind of the thing to throw at us. First it was kind of, the new band, just another metalcore band, and the Metallica thing. And now really, I guess it's you either like us or you don't. But I mean, there's no Metallica comparison really now.
Sure.
I mean, I think we've kind of moved into our own thing.
Okay. We get a couple of questions, obviously, from different listeners. John in Wallsend, I should say, he's asked us to ask you about this Slave New World cover you did a couple of years ago. Why did you pick that song, and who was the big sort of Sepultura fan? Was it all of you, or one in particular in the band?
Well, the way it worked out, actually, is that one night on a tour we were doing, one band dropped off, and, you know, we had to play a little bit longer of a set, so we're like, oh, should we play some covers tonight? And so, you know, it was our first tour with Nick, and we were just kind of throwing around ideas, and I knew just from the past, like, Nick was way into Sepultura, as was I. You know, Corey's way into Sepultura as well, and, you know, we're like, all right, well, let's pick a Sepultura song to play tonight. And that was, you know, the song that we decided we could pull out of our asses that night. So we did it. Was awesome. We're like, hey, why don't we just record this? You know, because we had to do that Shattering the Skies Above song that we did for God of War. So we were going to be in the studio. So we decided, let's just throw a cover in. And, you know, it's always been a band I've always wanted to cover. They've been a massive influence on me. I love that album too. Chaos AD is such a great album. Like, it was kind of their transition from, you know, the thrashiness that they started off as to what they ultimately became.
Excellent.
So, like,
Excellent. It's a good album. Mark in Monkseaton, if I remember correctly, he was asking us just a quick sort of question about what kind of rig and bass equipment you use, and what kind of stuff you play with on a given tour.
It's very, very simplified. It's, I mean, obviously I have my signature bass, my new one that I have out with me right now. It's a BC Rich Warlock. And then for my rig, it's pretty much, I use this thing called a SansAmp PSA, which is like, you know, you can kind of dial in your tone if you want to get it a little gritty sounding. You can put distortion on, all that kind of stuff. And it's all programmable, like MIDI. And then I use a direct box called an Avalon. And I don't use any cabs, I don't use any head, and I just have in-ears, and that's how I hear myself.
Excellent.
And so it pretty much cuts any on-stage noise out. Same thing with Matt and Corey, they don't use any guitar heads or cabs anymore, so it's all direct, and it's, I don't know, it really tightens up the live sound, in my opinion.
Excellent.